Hi everyone, this is Intuitive Edge. Welcome once again to my channel. Thanks for joining me. It's time to take a look at some current events. I want to take a look intuitively at what might be happening with Hoover Dam. I have a sneaking suspicion that there may be something going on behind the scenes. So let's take a look at it intuitively, and I'll give a little bit of backstory about this as well. Years ago, I did a deep dive on exploring some of the deeper mysteries of life and our world. And I took a little trip over through the website whatonearthishappening.com. And I listened to a series of podcasts, watched a series of lectures on video, and really had some worldview changing moments where I was able to kind of deconstruct some things that I had always thought and look at things in a new way. And I was able to kind of shift my perspective on several things. Kind of woke me up a little bit. Well, one of the things that I began to learn about was the dark forces, deep state, globalists, whatever you want to call it, and their obsession with rituals and events, planned events. And one of the things that I learned in this series of videos was that the presenter, Mark, talked a lot about Hoover Dam, or at least he touched on it. And I remember him talking about it as very symbolic and very important symbolism related to the dark cabal type figures. And so I've been thinking about that because the Hoover Dam came up in the news recently with a fire that broke out or an explosion. I heard different reports as to what exactly it was, and I'm not really sure. I haven't dug deep into the news on this. I thought, you know what, I'm going to just go within on my intuition side and see what's going on, because I have a sneaking suspicion that this could be either a warning or a statement that something bigger is planned. Now, the reason that Hoover Dam is so special and important to these nefarious types is because of what it represents. The shape of it, in some ways you could liken it to the shape of a woman, perhaps giving birth, and that were that dam ever to fail, that it would be as though the water breaking and giving birth to something. That's the symbology that I understood as I was listening to these lectures. And it was quite a while ago, so I don't know it off the top of my head every detail, but that's what I recall is the symbology of the water breaking. So I'm wondering if there is something like that planned. People have always speculated, it's such a large dam that, if it ever did something happen to it, what would that mean? How would that affect the surrounding areas? It would be probably very devastating in many areas in many ways. So I spent some time in meditation and asking for everything to come from highest source, God. I do want to do a future video, just take a sidebar here. I want to talk about the problem that I'm seeing coming in with parasitic entities that are giving false information. And unwittingly, there are a lot of people who I believe are being influenced. And I myself, all of us that are of the light and we want to restore God's purpose in this earth and to live out that purpose, we all have to realize how much of a controlled world we live in, and a parasitic world really, in terms of entities that try to influence human behavior and thinking and all of that. So I'm going to do a whole nother series, probably series of videos on that topic. So I digress. But getting back to this, what I am sensing is that this event could portend a future event concerning the Hoover Dam. And it's concerning to me based on what this dam represents to the dark side, okay? Now, the first card out, I did a meditation where I called in the highest good to come and to just to connect with that realm as best I can. The issue at hand, I had the Seven of Wands. This is a card of getting the upper hand. And it's a card of struggle. So regarding the Hoover Dam right now, there is some type of struggle or effort to get the upper hand over something there, okay? And what is being planned? We had a major arcana with the Emperor. Now, in this case, that's not really a good sign because there is something being planned. That tells me definitely there is. And the Emperor rules with an iron fist, so to speak. He comes in very strong, very forthright, and very demanding, and rules. End of story, ruler. Okay, so what is being planned? Some type of rule that is going to come in, possibly as a result to something happening with the dam. This is at least what's being planned, okay? It doesn't mean that the plans come to fruition. It's just that's what's on the table. How to stop it? Now, interesting card on here. We have the card of opportunity. It's also a card about looking to the future, having a new perspective, taking opportunities where you can to offer a new way of thinking. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, is to offer a new way to think about these things and understand the symbology. Just as an aside, I got to touch on this. A certain event that happened in September in the year 2001 was also a symbolic event. And the two towers represented two powers according to this cabal's way of thinking. And the fact that Building 7 had to go down as well is very telling, because it was very much part of the ritual, okay? And I'm going to go back and see if I can locate the talk that I listened to that went into the symbology and the history of why two towers with the one in the middle is so important, and why that was a focus on what happened on that day. All of what we see are symbols and signs and rituals. Those of you that kind of are awake to kind of what's going on see that much of it is symbolic. All right, how to stop it? So that's basically it, is to bring in a new perspective, to shed light on what is happening, and to offer a different worldview, or at least shed light on the worldview that has been running our world so that we are not blind to it. What do we need to know? I got the Hierophant. So we have the Emperor and the Hierophant coming out. They're both authority figures. They're both, this card is about conformity, groupthink, doing what's best for the whole. And that's what we need to know, is there is some type of bringing things into conformity, probably through iron fist type of rule. That's what's being planned, is to usher in a draconian top-down control system. And then I had to ask, just because I'm on this topic, is will that dam break? Is that what's being planned? And we have the Queen of Pentacles on that. And she's upright. She's in a strong position. I think that's the intention, but I don't think that it necessarily has to happen. And that perhaps there are other mitigating factors that we could employ or that may be involved with this, because the outcome is this Queen of Swords. She's facing right back at the other queen. They're kind of doing a face-off in the way I have the cards laid out. And the Queen of Swords is about strength of mind and will. The Queen of Swords gets to the bottom of things. She sees things for what they really are, and she understands the truth. She can get to the bottom of things while everybody else is like lost in confusion or illusion. She sees through the BS. I call her the no BS lady. That's what she represents, getting to the bottom of something. And she's facing right back into this, will the dam break question, which was represented by that other queen. So I think there is some light being shed on perhaps a nefarious plot regarding this historic monument and landmark that could be being planned. And somehow the symbology of that dam failing, if it ever did, would be symbolic of ushering in the dam breaking, the water breaking, giving birth to this new world order. Okay, that's what I think these types see. And if it was to happen, it would be through some type of ritual to cement things in. Okay, so that's what I get on that. I should probably share here before I move on is that underneath this, I like to look at the bottom card whenever I shuffle, and I had the Magician. Now, having these major arcana come out, the Emperor and the Hierophant and this Magician, this is the card of basically ritual, alchemy. It is turning something into a thing. It's taking what you have at your disposal and creating something with it or doing something. And I do think there is something planned, unless we perhaps can shed light on it and discuss these things, talk about these ideas, these rituals, and perhaps share this video out. Okay, I'm going to stop this video here. I was going to go on and talk about other things, but I think I'll put that in a different separate video. So that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. This has been Intuitive Edge. Bye for now.